BBC News.
Thank you.
Well, with me in the studio is Saeed Shehata from BBC Arabic. Good to be speaking to you, Saeed. So, the last 24 hours in Syria have seen several military operations, some by the Israeli army, the US, but also pro-Turkish groups against Kurdish forces in Syria. Just bring us up to date on those.
It is worrying that military operations by different parties. The first one is the Americans. According to the U.S. Central Command, said like the air forces launched more than 75 strikes on personnel facilities of what's called the Islamic State in the northeast Syria, because they are still there in order to mitigate their potential benefit of the chaos might happen in this area. And we should mention that there is more than 10,000 prisoners of the so-called Islamic State in prison controlled by the Syrian Democratic Forces, in addition to more than 45,000 of their families and relatives from 45 countries, foreigners and Arabs, and in refugee camps in Al-Hol and in Rouge. So there is many, and they can be a threat for the efforts of the international coalition led by the United States to fight the so-called Islamic State. This on one front. The other front is the pro-Turkish militant groups. They advanced in the Kurdish area. So they controlled before Tel Rifat, and in the last few hours they are fighting in Manbij, which is a very strategic city where it links between the Kurdish in the city and other cities like Qamishli, Al-Hasaka and other places, and it's very important for trade for the Kurdish in this area. And more land is taken away from the Syrian Democratic Forces will be a problem, because they are coordinating with the Americans to fight the so-called Islamic State, but at the same time they are facing the pressure from the pro-Turkish militant groups. In addition to that, the Israeli struck more than 100 targets, and they also occupied another part of the occupied Golan Heights, because they said it's a temporary one. They coordinate with the American, do that, and they will be back until they see who is coming next to take control of Syria, because they are fearing of the HTS, because they have an Islamic agenda. Even its leader is not. He looks like moderate and inclusive and all this stuff, but still there is fears from Israel and other parties.
And at the same time, later on Monday, there's going to be a UN Security Council meeting specifically on Syria, called for by the Russians. What can we expect from this meeting?
There is Russia and Turkey are the main players, if you can say, besides the United States in Syria. There is an air base in Latakia in the Mediterranean, the coastal Mediterranean, called it Himimim. In addition, Turkey want to stop the threat of the Kurdish in their borders. So there are too many players. Security Council will discuss how the different parties come together to build the future of Syria, according to the Security Council Resolution 2254, which was issued in 2015. And after that, we suppose Bashar al-Assad was supposed to be in serious talks with the different opposition groups, but he was not, because he was supported by the Russian, Iranian, and the Hezbollah fighters, so he is not serious about that. So the talk in Security Council, how to implement that, because this resolution drew the roadmap for the future of Syria, where is the fair and transparent elections supervised by United Nations, also a new constitution, so the election coming after the constitution, and the Syrian will decide their future and build on an institution. No revenge, but all sects, including the Alawite, who are the Al-Assad, sects, there will be all of them together in order to move Syria and to achieve and to fulfill the prospects and hopes of the Syrian people.
Yeah, potential framework for a transition in Syria. Saeed Shehata from BBC Arabic, thank you for joining us.